Oh, guys, that was a friggin' brutal shift. Brutal. You would not believe the amount of workload I just did in 8 hours. It's crazy. Wow. But we got an unboxing, and that always makes me feel better. So we're gonna stop on the way home because I'm gonna get some jug up because I'm too tired to cook tonight. And then we're gonna unbox. So let's get home.
In Toronto, where the Maritimers are bold, they always get a pot full, but they never get a pot of gold. But they're to it and at it and to it. You gotta tune your attitude in. If you don't get at it, when you get to it, you won't get to it to get at it again. You won't get.
Retro Maniacs, Retro Army, thank God we are home after a brutal shift. Wow, that was a brutal one. Funny thing is, they're talking to me before the shift today about extending the my shift by an hour a day. So I'd be working 9 hours a day instead of 8 hours. I don't know about that, but anyway, we got an unboxing to get into. I hope you guys enjoyed the good Canadian music at the beginning. I hope I don't get burned for that. Please don't burn me for that. I did a little test private video to see if it would ping the ding and burn me for it. You know what I'm talking about. So I hope it doesn't anyway. No, it shouldn't anyway, because the music in my videos is performed by my friends. Like, I haven't showed you guys, but I have a studio in the basement. I literally tell Glenn, or I tell Dave, or I tell Giuliano the song that I want. They hop down there. Usually one take, they got it. Anyway, the car we're gonna unbox today, it was gonna be a comparison video, but we can't find the other car in the vast inventory of the Cowie Diecast Museum. So I'm gonna put a link in the description of the original car. It's the original car we unboxed was a Mustang. This, well, should be a step up. We're gonna have a look at it. Here's what we're gonna be getting into, guys. And this is one of Glenn's autograph specials, of course, autographed by Hubert Platt. I'm loving the Krager rims on the front. Why couldn't I get those rims when I was doing my Christine, the blue Charger custom? Eh? I would have loved those. Those look like Kragers big time. I notice we do have a lot of new viewers on the channel, so I am going to give my disclosure that I haven't had to give in a very long time, but I'm going to give it again for the new viewers. I'm no expert. I do not claim to be an expert. My videos are strictly for entertainment purposes. They're not to trigger anybody. My opinions are my opinions. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm a guy that likes movie cars. I'm a guy that likes diecast cars. I don't claim to know everything about the General Lee. I've read the General Lee diecast blogspot, the 4 pages of diecast like everyone else. And yeah, I'm not an expert. These videos are for fun. It's a place for you guys to come unwind, have fun, and watch me unbox a car that you've been wondering about buying. See if you want to buy it or not. We take one for the team, that way you don't have to. That way you don't have to buy it and not like it or whatever, right? We've unboxed a lot of good cars, but we've also unboxed cars that I've told you guys, don't buy this. In my opinion, it's bad. So the purpose of the channel is not to debate. It's not about right or wrong. There's no right or wrongs in the videos. It's just literally us having fun, checking out cars. I've got experience with them, some experience because of the majority, like the number of cars I've unboxed. You can't take that away from me. But I'm no expert. These videos are for entertainment purposes. Please, no trigger. Okay guys, so yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way as the channel gets bigger. Like we hit 1,000 like April 2nd and it's already 1,015 or 18 or something like that. So things are going awesome. But as we get bigger, I didn't want to lose touch with the message that these videos are for fun. It's a place to come after your hard day at work, to unwind, relax, get some laughs, and check out the cars. That's the purpose of the videos. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't know anything anyway. So it doesn't matter. The General Lees that were in the last video, those are the only two we own. I'm just teasing, guys. Okay, so here it is. I'm actually looking forward to this because these American Muscle vintage racing ones, if you've watched previous videos of me opening other ones of these, I've been impressed with the quality and detail they've put into these. So I will say that I'm not an expert on this original car or vintage racing. I'm more a movie star guy. Me looking at this, it's just going to be looking at it for quality, how things line up, how do things open. I do hear something loose in there. It could be either paperwork in the bottom or maybe glue has dried up. Sometimes with these older models, by the way guys, this is from 2001. Sometimes with these older models, it doesn't matter the company that did it. It doesn't matter who made it. Glue dries out over time and breaks down. And sometimes you'll open one of these brand new that's never been out of the box and you'll have a loose part. Now, obviously, this has been out of the box because it's signed. You know what that might be, actually, Glenn? It might be a COA. Mm-hmm. It's paperwork. So, and good stuff. Glenn, listening to me, gets stuff. Wow, it's not... Oh, it's another one of these cool deals. So he got another one of these cars, too. So this car is not only signed by Hubert Platt, okay, on the top. He has another car like this. Got a picture of the actual dude in the real car, signed. That's cool. And there you go. If you're getting anything signed, guys, I cannot stress that enough. And it cannot be certificate of authenticity by Joe Blow. Like this has a hologram, everything. It's funny because it's like the other race car that we unboxed that had the same stuff. This guy certifies his own stuff, which is fine. He's got his own hologram. A lot of people do that nowadays. Autograph, and it's numbered, everything. And it was signed in 2000 something, May 23rd, 2000 X. I can't see that. But yeah, that is very cool, Glenn. You have another car that has that too. Yeah. I don't know if you remember.
Yep, one of these two.
Yeah, he has a bunch. I gotta say, I was never into these vintage racing ones until I started unboxing these ones that Glenn has, and I'm like, wow, these things are cool. Like, he has a couple that I would actually get. Okay, so we're gonna take it off the base. Now, again, guys, I'm gonna say this for new viewers. Keep everything. If you're gonna take it out of the box, keep the cardboard backing. If it's attached to the base with tape, keep the original tape attaching it. Don't take it off. Keep everything original, because that goes to your, God forbid, you lose your job in 2 years, something happens, you have an accident, you need emergency money and you have to sell. That's your resale value down the road, and you'll thank me for it later, for not throwing that stuff out.
If I were married, I'd be selling away.
Yeah. Well, it could be any emergency. Like what just happened to me, it wasn't an emergency, but me and Diane split up. I couldn't keep that place. It was sudden. And yeah, I ended up having to sell my stuff. And thank God, the stuff, because I was smart the way I bought the stuff, everything in that room was bought on the low. So I didn't take a bath. Probably one of the few guys that could say that when they sell off their stuff, because I make sure that I'm very careful with what I pay, because I think of the exit door later on, is what I call it. You got to think of the exit door later on. Oh, that is beautiful, Glenn. So this one, the other one he has doesn't have this hologram. This has the hologram right on the car. It might have a website where you can look up that number. I'm not sure. I will do a little bit of research for Glenn to see because it is numbered. And it's numbered right there as well. So it's a double numbered car actually. It's numbered by the company. And it's numbered by the man that autographed it. See, it's double numbered. It's got ceramic headers sticking out the bottom. The white ceramic headers. So this is going to be a treat to look at. Yeah, it so far the steering steers beautifully on it. I got out of our habit, guys. The first thing we're supposed to do is look for paint rash. And it's got no paint rash. It's beautiful. Ertl, I don't usually see paint rash on them. I hate to say it, but it's usually, you know who, that has paint rash. And I love you know who. That's why I'm not mentioning their name, but you guys know, if you watch the videos, you know who I'm talking about. I just don't want to trash them. But this is beautiful. I love the back tires on it. Like it looks the way they did in the day with the wider back tires. Okay, I'm gonna show you the engine last. What am I doing? Okay, so as with all early Ertls though, it does not have an opening trunk. That is okay. That's okay. We've come accustomed to that. We'll start out going around here. Now it's got the period correct livery, and it's got a little bit more, like I don't think I'm gonna put a link in the description, guys, for the original unboxing video of the Maisto Cobra Jet. I think it was quite a bit different than this, and I don't think that it had any sponsorship logos at all. I think it just said Cobra Jet Tasca Ford, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe Hubert Platt, but I remember saying to Glenn, I don't think it's a real race car because it has no sponsorships on it. I think they just made it as a display piece, but it is an actual real car. Do you remember that, Glenn, when I said that to you? And I think it's cool. One of the sponsors is Krager. They're on the front. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Now, these vintage racing ones, I don't know if it's because they're kind of doing it in somebody's name, like this man's name or whatever, but they really go an extra step. Ertl does it. And I know Ertl's American Muscle, and I know that yeah, I know all that. But yeah, they usually put good effort into these vintage racers. I haven't seen a bad one, I don't think. Glenn's got a number of them, and the door is shut. Beautiful on this. Sometimes that's hit and miss with Ertl. I hate to say I love you, Ertl, but the way the doors open and close, these open and close beautiful on this car. And, oh, what am I doing? We don't even have the light on. Sorry, guys. I'll redo the shots for you. So it's got some nice details, nice interior door panel with chrome window crank and that. I hate when they do that in just a molded plastic. I like having that little bit extra, you know. The seats move forward and back, much like, say, the Ertl Bullet Mustang. It's very similar in body style to that. In fact, we might pull one out to put beside it on the look-see set later. And I know it might not be the same year, the same model or anything. It's just a general comparison. Ertl Mustang. It looks like the same year though, 67. Yeah, I think, what's Bullet, 67 or 68? I think it's 68, I believe.
I honestly can't remember. I always forget.
I'm so tired. I'll look it up though. We'll check. It's not like we don't have any Bullet Mustangs in the house to look at the box.
No, we don't have one.
Nope. No, not one. So it's got the number on the windshield that the Maisto did not have. If I remember correctly, I liked the quality of the Maisto, but it just didn't have all these little extras. Like the gauge cluster, like the tack on the dash. Now let's have a look at the mill, guys. I'll let you guys have a look first. I've never seen it yet. How does it look, guys? Can you guys even see? Okay, you can. Okay.
It looks good from here.
It looks like it's got the 390. I could be wrong, I'm not an expert, but it looks like the 390, like what the Bullet car has. And yeah, I think that warrants, we're going to pull out the Ertl Bullet and put it beside it, because I think they're the same year, and if they're not, they're darn close. But that is nice. Wheels turn beautiful, smooth. Look at that. Like that is, everything's smooth. It's beautiful. I love the Krager right here. I love that. And I love that it comes with the extras, the COA and stuff like that. But of course, if you're buying this car, you might not be buying the autographed one. And that's okay. And there's that license plate, Tasca. Doug's headers. Oh, that's cool too. Heard about Doug's headers. Okay, I think this warrants a look up on the look-see set. I'm gonna have one. Oh, that's the engine's a little bit better than the average Ertl too. It's got some wiring on it and stuff. Just a touch better, I think. Beautiful car, beautiful Glen. Everything lines up perfect on it. Okay, let's hit the look-see set. Time for court. We got it right up on the Retro Collectibles look-see set on the turntable. It's about to go in front of the judge. It is nice looking though. I think we should look at the details under the hood with a little bit more different light conditions. Gloves. And yes, guys, I use gloves. I've become used to it. I like doing it. My hands are grubby from work. I don't leave fingerprints on the models like I used to. Gloves all the way. Look at that though, guys. That looks just like, oh, look at the valve covers. You could see they're the, can't remember the name of it. Not louvered. Can't remember the name for those. I'm tired, but certain name for them. Anyway, there's that plate. Very similar to the Bullet Mill for Ertl. We're gonna have a look at that as well in a minute. By the way, guys, me and Glenn are both tired. The Bullet Mustang, as much as we love it, we shouldn't forget it, but it's a 68. This is a 67. See if we could zoom in on that. Ooh, look at that. Look at the gauges and everything. Even the pedals got details. You could see the grooves in them. Look at those Kragers, guys. Even detailed right down to the center cap on them. Even like the Steelies on the back. It reminds me of the Steelies on my American Graffiti 55 Chev by Ertl. Now we'll come all the way around to the American side. The trunk does not open. Have a look-see in here since we are on the look-see set. There we go, she's focusing. Nice, that looks like wood grain dash. Very nice. I like the tack as well. Anybody interested? There's his autograph. I'm gonna have to look up what he said under that, guys. It says Hubert Platt, Georgia. Does that say shake? I don't know what it says. Shaker? I don't know. So guys, even though I'm not a fan of this here Mustang, unless it's bullet, unless it's that green color, I do these unbiased, as you guys can tell. It could be a car that I'm not a fan of because I'm a Mopar guy. It'll still get a good score because I'm going on quality. And this is gonna get a good score. Nice paint, the doors open up, everything lines up good. Period correct decals. I like the Kragers. This is not a sealed model where it's our shelf burner scoring system. This is the regular retro score, guys. So this is going for just quality and details in general. So general retro score for this beauty, 8 out of 10. Now, as promised, I said I'd put it beside the Bullet Mustang. Now we know it's a year apart. The white Cobra Jet's a 67, this is a 68. But I'm gonna make sure I get the right one. And the right one is this guy by Ertl, same company. We won't get that one because they're the wrong scale. They're the little Revels I love. See, we couldn't possibly know anything about the different die-cast companies. We only have one of each car. Just teasing, guys. This is a 67, like I mentioned. I know they're different years, guys, but you tell me. Look at that beauty, eh? Now, the one difference, glaring difference they both have is this Bullet here has a driver's side mirror. This doesn't because it's a race car. They're definitely cousins, though. Like, look at that. Definitely related. Different steering wheel, that's cool. So they made the interiors a bit different on them. Different year after all. Of course, you know, the Bullet didn't have the pony emblem on the front, stuff like that. This one does. But let's have a look under these hoods. Well, well, well. Now, as I said, they did put a little bit of extra detail into this engine compartment over here, didn't they? And this is a movie car, which surprises me. You would think it would be up there with the vintage racing car, but this engine's got a little bit better details than this one in Bullet, surprisingly. Still though, if I had to make a choice, I'm picking this guy. Just the last fleeting look before we have a chit chat. Retro score 8 out of 10 on this beauty. So there you have it, guys. Oh, hold on. I trust you guys. I'll leave you alone for a second. Okay, here we go. So, retro score 8 out of 10 on this beauty. Everything opens beautiful. The doors open beautifully. Everything lines up beautifully. The engine, you see, they do put a little bit of extra love into these vintage racers. There was one that we did. I'm trying to remember which one. The first one that we ever opened, me and Glenn, it was a vintage racer, and I was blown away by the quality. Trying to remember which car it was, but it's in the videos here anyway, guys. I'm going to put a link in the description for the Maisto version of this. Now, clearly this would have beat the Maisto version, but the Maisto version's still pretty nice. In case you haven't heard, I'm waiting for a computer to do because I cannot access my subscriber list on the app for YouTube Studio. I need to do it from a computer. Luckily, Glenn tells me he has a tablet, but he hasn't used it in a couple of years. So tomorrow I'm going to charge it, clean it all up. Hopefully I can get that to work to pull the names for the draw and put them in the randomizer, get it all done. If his tablet for some reason does not work, something happens, whatever, I'm just going to go to the friggin' library because I want to get this done. I want to get it done, guys. And that's, oh, an interesting story about that song in the beginning that you heard. It's so true. It's about the Maritimers going to Toronto because the roads are paved with gold. my parents were Maritimers. They're both from Cape Breton Island. In fact, my whole family, aunts, uncles, cousins, they're all in Nova Scotia or New Brunswick. Mostly Nova Scotia because my one cousin moved to New Brunswick from Nova Scotia. But all my cousins are from Nova Scotia, uncles. All my roots are out there. My father was a transplant because he moved to Toronto with my mother back in the 60s. The roads were paved with gold. My father told me that he could literally get a union job and get bored of it and walk down the street and get another union job that afternoon. He said there was jobs everywhere. And he told me stories about days of no inventory, like computerized inventory tracking. And when he drove trucks, the truckers would just trade stuff off the trucks. Like a guy would give my father a case of Barbies, my father would give the guy a case of Hot Wheels cars, whatever. And I asked him when I was younger, like nobody said anything. He said the supervisors were doing it. He said, who's gonna say anything? They were doing it too. But that was back in the 60s, and then they moved to Elliott Lake and had me, and my father worked in the mine and blah 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 blah. But yeah, so it kind of reminded me of my parents telling stories about how they moved to Ontario, and that's kind of how it was. They all thought the roads were in Toronto was paved with gold. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. My butt's moving on the draw. Don't worry, Retro doesn't forget stuff like that. And yeah, just stay tuned. We got more unboxings coming. That one we picked it out just because it's autographed and because Glenn found it in the basement and forgot that he had it. So we figured we'd crack it. But we have other episodes of Retro Collectibles Crack It coming. And by the way, the intro for this is not the normal Crack It intro. I was tired and forgot to put the regular Crack It intro. This episode is obviously sponsored by the Cowie Diecast Museum. Yeah, so they're always awesome to let us unbox their cars. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm so tired, I'm brain dead, so smash the like button for me. Subscribe and share. And as always, guys, happy hunting.